has did. This is what the state, I have all the paperwork. What the state has been to us. I don't want to listen to that. I don't want to be disrespectful.
Then stand down.
We are following what the state has given us in the guidelines.
Stand down.
So I appreciate.
You can talk and Kim can't.
Well, she can talk. I was sitting right here and I took the microphone. She can talk, but I just want to state that Ross is doing what has been sent down to Ross, and you know, we need to be supportive and work through this. This kind of behavior does not help. You know, and that's why we are all here tonight to talk. We've brought the community in. We as a board, at a board meeting, it is for the board to conduct businesses, pay our vouchers and payroll, and we welcome the community in to sit at our meeting, and we've allowed you to speak. You're welcome, you're all come to the meetings, but we don't have to allow you to speak, and we do. Because they hate business. Work this out, but we don't need to be disrespectful and rude.
What does the community input come in there? If you guys are just going to follow the state guidelines, where does the community...
Well, we all have to follow the state guidelines, Jerry. It will all, I don't know what to tell you about all the school districts. But we're here and we're talking tonight and we're working on this. But we just don't want to be rude and disrespected because we're all here and we're all here for the same reason, to work through this.
It's gorgeous. The first thing I just want to say one thing. The most disrespectful thing that's been said, all night is when the gentleman in the mask started the meeting by saying all of these parents of these kids need to put your mask on because there's kids in the building. Not your kids. That we shouldn't be cutting each other off and acting like a bunch of kids ourselves. That's true. But don't do no better than we did by telling the whole crowd, hey, by the way, your kids are here, so you need to mask them up. That shows the flaw. The fact that you said that made the point. Amen.
I have a letter I would like to read to the board. Board members, thank you for the privilege of working alongside of you these last 6 years. We have done our best to work together to make wise decisions to make our school the best it can be. This last year and a half has by far been the most challenging as we navigated through COVID. We didn't always agree, but we worked diligently to do what we thought was best. But after these last few months, I no longer believe we are making decisions that are best for our students or our staff. I cannot, in good conscience, support these changes that are being made. So I have made a very hard decision to resign from the board. I must do what is best for my family and myself. My family deserves my best. We chose this school district 15 years ago when our oldest daughter started 3-year-old preschool. But today, I honestly don't recognize our school. We seem to care more about mask wearing, if you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, and COVID protocols than if our kids are learning or what's going on in their homes and in their lives. We have made decisions that are putting teachers against teacher and staff against staff. Our decisions have caused a toxic work environment full of fear, mistrust, negativity, discrimination, and even hate. We are supposed to be better than this. It is beyond disappointing and completely heartbreaking. To the teachers and staff, thank you for all that you do. Thank you for loving and supporting our kids. Thank you for going above and beyond. You know who you are. I sincerely apologize. I feel like we have failed you. You deserve better than this.
Amen.
At this time, the board is going to go into executive session. There will be no decisions made during the executive session.
Isn't there more that want to speak? Laura wanted to speak. Dan, you wanted to speak.
We had,
Laura needs to be able to defend herself.
we are going to go into executive session at this time. That wasn't necessary.
Let her talk, dude. She's trying to get it off. Are you seriously not going to let that happen?
Laura, you can come down and talk. Laura will be the last speaker.
Kim, did you have more that you were going to say?
My name is Laura Lundy. I have worked at the Raymond School District for over 18 years. I have never received a negative comment from our yearly evaluation process.
Thank you.
The accommodation requirement letter that we all needed to sign, the religious exempt people all needed to be signed or terminated for it, was that letter created at a public board meeting and publicly decided on?
It's the law. Quote the law.
Yes? No?
It's the law. It has to be.
Has to be a public meeting.
Yeah, we talked to an attorney. Don't shake your head no bigger. He doesn't let you know the facts. We've got the facts.
RCW 42.30.030.
There you go.
Meetings declared open and public. All meetings of the public governing body of a public agency shall be open to the public, and all persons shall be permitted to attend any meeting of the governing body of a public agency, except as otherwise provided in this chapter. RCW 42.30.200. I'm not going to read the whole thing, it's pretty lengthy. 3. Action. means the transaction of the official business of a public agency by a governing body, including but not limited to the receipt of public testimony, deliberations, discussions, considerations, reviews, evaluations, and final actions. Final actions mean a collective, positive, or negative decision, or an actual vote by the majority of the members of a governing body when sitting as a body or entity upon a motion, proposal, resolution, order, or ordinance. Meeting means meeting at which action is taken. The accommodation requirement letter that we had to sign or be terminated, if it wasn't discussed and decided on in a public board meeting, would be invalid. I'm being recommended for termination because I didn't sign that letter. That letter also included that, just so the public knows, that letter also included that the accommodations, the required accommodations could get changed at the I don't have it in front of me, the discretion of the district. That might not be the exact words. It also stated that if we didn't adhere to the requirements, whether they changed or not, there would be consequences, I can't remember the words, up to termination. That's where I am. Termination for not signing that letter.
Invalid letter. An illegal letter.
An open-ended, never-ending letter.
Yes.
Amen.
So you can change it whenever the hell you want.
Yes.
What is up with
Yes. The Washington State Department of Health has stated that COVID-19 vaccines do not prevent a person from being infected, or does it prevent them from prevent an infected, vaccinated person from spreading the virus? Ross Baker and Pebbles Williams, you both told me that the issue is about liability. If COVID is truly the liability issue, do you realize that there are more than 600 students, employees, and visitors that come into the district buildings each day? All of last year, 2020, 2021, everybody, not just the religious exempt people, not discriminating, everybody, visitors included, were required to have a signed attestation. So kids coming to school, they had a little questionnaire that their adult at home had to check off and sign, saying they didn't have any COVID symptoms. Also, everyone had to enter the building through the main door so that their temperature could be automatically taken. This year, those requirements are not in place, so the district has loosened the requirements for everyone, except for the less than 20 employees. Less than 20 employees that you have already approved the religious exemption for. You already told us that we passed the test of being religious enough to receive the exemption. We were approved.
Yeah. By who?
Less than 20 people. For that less than 20 people, you have excessively tightened the requirements requirements through the accommodation requirement letter. This is discrimination for our religious beliefs.
Amen.
It doesn't make sense. If you're concerned about a COVID lawsuit, to only focus on less than 20 people out of the more than 600 that come into buildings every day, it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't add up.
The accommodation requirement letter is not required by the state or county. Ross Baker, you told me that you called other schools and used the information that you gathered to create that accommodation requirement letter, along with the school's attorney. I want the community to know that everyone that signed that accommodation letter signed it under duress. There is no one that signed that letter feeling like they had any choice. Everyone that signed that letter, they signed it because they knew that they were going to be intimidated and bullied, and they could not live without their income. We have certified teachers that have spent years for their education, the money and the time, and to have this happening. We know, we have contacted 9 other districts that are not following these same very stringent, can't get out of it. It's all about money.
Amen.
But you can contact them to make up your papers. You could contact other schools to make up this contract, but you couldn't contact schools to find out how it works out for us to work like the other schools.
Hallelujah.
I have the list of all 3 schools in our county. 13 are doing the same thing we are.
No, wrong.
They're all wrong.
You're wrong.
We contacted South Bend, Willicott Valley, PL, Acosta, Ilwaco, North River, Aberdeen, Nacogdoches, Morton. Those are some of the schools that are close to us in the county, that we play in sports. Some of the schools that I called didn't want to discuss it. It's way too sensitive of an issue. I am asking for the board to decide that the accommodation requirement letter is invalid due to the 2 RCWs that I cited. It was not created following those guidelines. I am also asking for the recommendation for my termination and Lisa's to be denied. The community is speaking.
Yes.
This isn't about what's best for the kids. It's about money. They're choosing to look at the harshest requirements they can find and ram them down the throats of less than 20 people in the district, where you've loosened the requirements for